Hey guys, there are a lot of questions about what's the difference between tea, green tea, Tisane, or also called a Tisane, herbal tea, infusions, and there is a difference between tea and everything else because tea is an actual plant. It is actually its own species of plant, Camellia sinensis. And I might have pronounced that wrong if you're not from America. That's kind of how I pronounce it here. But, or Camellia, what is it? Camellia sinensis or Camellia sinensis? I don't know. If you're not from America, you pronounce it a little differently. So you can leave it in the comments if you pronounce it differently, exactly how you say it. But that is the actual tea plant. And there are two main types that people drink here in America, green tea and black tea. And I've got some examples of those because I just buy those in the packs, the little to-go packs to have when I'm out, put them in my purse and things like that. And the difference is the fermentation, and we can get more into that later if people are interested. But herbal tea is a big thing in America, but it has no tea in it. So really it's not an herbal tea, it's actually a tisane. Or some people pronounce it a Tisane. So a Tisane is actually an herbal tea, and it can also be called an infusion, which is pretty much any herb that has been sitting and steeping in hot water for a certain amount of time. So in America, I even have boxes here that say herbal tea, but there's no tea in it. So it's kind of turned into this slang. Okay, so these are just some examples that I have laying around my house right now. Like this is what I was saying. These are the herbal teas that you pick up at the store, and I love these because I like having a lot of hibiscus. I like drinking hibiscus almost every day, and these, the main ingredient is hibiscus, and you can get them for fairly cheap at the store. But look, right here on the thing, herbal tea, and there's no tea in it. Let's see, where's the ingredients? Let's see, can you see that? Hibiscus, rose hips, chicory, orange peel, blackberry leaves, flavorings, and raspberry leaves. So none of that is tea, and it's caffeine free. So it says herbal tea simply because that's kind of the American slang, right? And here's another one. The same type, same hibiscus base, herbal infusion or tisane. Look at that. Hibiscus, rose hips, orange peel, blueberry, and blackberry. And I love this one, by the way. It's one of my favorite ones. Okay, so what is a tea? These are the two actually teas. These are the only two teas I have in my house right now. This is probably my favorite. Man, I don't like how I have that thing right there. There we go. This is probably my favorite black tea right now. And it's an Indian black tea, and that's important. I can get into that later about the differences between Chinese black tea and Indian black tea, but it's organic Indian black tea, and that's important. This is really, really good. And this is actually tea. It doesn't have a thing on it, but this is actually the tea plant. And this is my favorite green tea, right there too. And this is from the tea plant. Does it say on the back? I buy these in bulk, so I don't even think that it says on here what it is. Oh, look, it just says organic green tea. Boom, that's it. So I buy these in bulk, and that's why they're individually wrapped like this. And I love to just have them around the house, because I don't drink a whole lot of tea, honestly, as much as I drink tisanes or herbal infusions. So those are the two teas that I have. Now I'm about out. I'm actually getting a Mountain Reserves box this week, which I'm really excited about because I'm about out. This is my favorite herb to drink, and it even says, this says here, green rooibos tea. Now, it's not really tea, right? Because it's not Camellia sinensis. It's actually green rooibos, which is red bush tea or red tea, right? Some people know it as. It's a rooibos. But because it's become such a popular thing, we just call it green rooibos tea or herbal tea, right? But it's really not the tea leaves, and I'll show you. If you've never seen green, or if you've ever seen red tea, red bush tea, right? Rooibos before. You know it's not like tea at all. It's chopped up. I'll show a little bit of it. So you can see that. It's chopped up like that. It's teeny, teeny, tiny. Which, by the way, don't try to put that in a normal infuser because you'll just get it all in your cup. You have to use something super mesh fine or like a cloth, but that's a whole other story. So this is an infusion. This is a Tisane. Okay, and so this is some chamomile actually from our garden right here. What we have left. Oh, I can get my hand in there. See if I can get a couple right here. And if you were just to put this in a tea bag, in a little bag, or just brew it in some water, you would have an herbal infusion or a Tisane, right? Chamomile. Oh, of course, chamomile tea, right? Here's a blend that we do right here. German chamomile lemon balm, which is really good. Let's see if I can get that opened. So this is a soothing tea. This is a soothing blend of an herbal tea or a Tisane or a infusion, right? So look, there's no tea in there whatsoever. This is just straight up herbs, lemon balm and chamomile. But that could be marketed as an herbal tea or a Tisane or an infusion. So what's correct? If you want to be specific, you know, if you always want to be right, you would call it a Tisane or an infusion. An infusion could be anything in water, though. A Tisane is specifically herbs in water. And an herbal tea seems to be more of just kind of the American slang for a tea-type drink that doesn't actually have the tea plant in it, but has other herbs in it. So herbal tea is more of the slang because there's really actually no tea in it. And then the other two are more of the formal, correct names. Obviously, I don't think anyone's going to correct you if you call something herbal tea, unless you're in a group of herbalists or botanists, or I don't know, someone who's sitting there talking about very specific terminology. Then you might want to use the correct terminology that you're trying to convey, because if you say something tea, they're going to automatically assume that there's actually tea plant, tea leaves in the drink or in the concoction. And if you're not wanting to convey that, then you might need to be more careful and call it, you know, a Tisane of specific herbs from the garden. Then they would know, okay, there is absolutely no tea plant in it. So that's just a quick overview of the difference between herbal tea, Tisane, and infusion. Have a great day.